Good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Spam Sports Report. Let's get to the NBA. The NBA, Game 1, Celtics lead, big over, Heat 71-54. Not really been close all game. Mavericks and Clippers will tip at 2:30. Players to watch out for: Luka Donovic, and Kawhi Leonard. Game time is at 2:30. Luke Doncic for the Mavericks and Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers. 2:30. Pelicans, Bucks. 1.5. Pelicans favored by Tyzer Hillbenton. Point guard Giannis Antetokounmpo. The tall guy, 38 points a game to watch out for him. Pelicans and OKC, Zion Williams who is out. And so then it will be on to Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum lead them in points. Those are the two players to watch out for. That game tips off at 8:30. All these games are game ones. That's for the NBA. Next on to college basketball. Now, we're going to go over the head coaching for head coaches in basketball and gradings. And all the jobs have been filled. There'll be more jobs, but these are the big ones that I chose. Scores from last night. Cavaliers beat the Magic 97-83. Paolo Banchis finishes with 24 in the loss. Donovan Mitchell finished with 30. Timberwolves Suns 120-95 final. Kevin Durant with 31. Anthony Edwards with 33. 76ers Knicks, Trey Maxey with 33, Josh Hart with 22. 76ers 111-104, and Timberwolves 120-95. Lakers Nuggets 114-103. Jokic has 32. Anthony Davis has 32 in the loss. So Cavs are up 1-0. Timberwolves are up 1-0, Knicks are up 1-0, and Nuggets are up 1-0. And this is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Arkansas Razorbacks Eric Musselman leaves to go to USC. John Calipari gets hired. Give the Razorbacks an A. BYU Cougars Mark Pope leaves to go to Kentucky. We'll talk about that in a minute. Kevin Young, the unknown, is the fact that he was just an assistant coach. Charleston, Pat Kelly. Chris Mack, former Xavier coach. A lot of baggage, but they hire Chris Mack. Charleston Cougars do. DePaul, Tony Subflied out. Chris Holtman in. I don't know a lot about these hire. The DePaul has a long way to go to get better. Drake, Darwin DeVars. This is what he was one of the greatest. Darwin DeVars to Ben McComb. He was one of the greatest Division II coaches in history. Florida Atlantic Dusty May John Baker, Baylor assistant. Indiana Sycamores Josh Schuch, Matthew Graves C. Hasn't had enough winning in his time. Kentucky John Calipari, Mark Pope. From what I would probably give this probably a B minus. There was many other jobs that Kentucky wanted their head coach. They said no. Maybe some Scott Drew, maybe Billy Donovan, Mark Pope, Rick Pitino, but I know one of them was Scott Drew. Louisville head coach Kenny Payne, Pat Kelser from Charleston, I give them a B. Michigan Wolverines, Juwan Howard did not work out. Dusty May, former head coach of Charleston, B. Missouri State, former Missouri coach Conzo Martin goes to I think this is a pretty good deal for what it wants to be. He's a good coach. He had some good years at Missouri. He probably shouldn't be coaching in a place like Missouri, but a place like Missouri State where they don't get a place like Missouri State where they're an MVC school, and that's a good job, or lower down in division school. I think Missouri State's still still in the Missouri Valley Conference. A good job for a Missouri Valley Conference team. Southern Illinois, Brian Mills, Scott Nagy. Brian Mills should have never gotten away. Due to non-support of the SIU and not wanting to give him a contract, a player that graduated from SIU didn't even take the SIU a head coaching job. He went to DePaul. Stanford Cardinals, Jared Haas to Kyle Smith. This wasn't a great hire. I gave it a C. USC Trojans, Andy Eric Musselman. I gave it an A- because that's a lot better than they could have gotten. Vanderbilt Commodores, Jerry Stackhouse to Mark Binja, B. The reason I mentioned that Eric Musselman, he may have led the Arkansas Razorbacks to a Sweet 16 and a Elite 8, I believe, but at least 2 Sweet 16s. Vanderbilt Commodores, Jerry Stackhouse to Mark Bennington, B. Washington Huskies, Mike Hopkins to Danny Sprinkle, I don't know. Washington State Cougars, Kyle Smith from David Riley, B. Don't know. Western Virginia, Bob Huggins to Danner DeVias. The Royals go for the series win today after losing last night 9-7, in which they came back from a 7-0 game, but it wasn't enough to get it done. A run at third by a runner that wasn't very fast, Kyle Isbell, on just a base hit to left field, probably should have gone to third, and then a 7-run inning didn't help, and the bullpen did a solid job, but they're just not dominant to give you a 7-0 lead and let you tie it and then win it later on because, well, they're just not that good. They were just okay yesterday. Pitching for the Royals is Seth Lugo, who's done a good job in the fifth starting rotation, or fourth, or whichever one you want to call him. And for the O's, Ivern. For the Cardinals and Brewers, it's tied up at 0, top second. For the Cubs and Marlins, tied up at 0, second inning. For the pitching for the Cardinals is Sonny Gray. And going for the Brewers is Colin Ray. Are trying to grab one after the Brewers grabbed the first two. The Cubs split the doubleheader yesterday and won Game 1 on Friday after Thursday being rained out. The Cubs have a chance to take the series today but the Marlins lead 1-0 right now. And on the mound for the Cubs is Kyle Hendricks. And on the mound for the Marlins is Eduardo Cabrera. That's baseball.